All right, guys. What I'm going to be doing today is getting the block cleaned up. Um, I was at a friend's wedding last night. Still early, surprisingly not hungover. So I'm going to clean the block with just like dish soap, and I'm going to use a siphon feed blowgun, so compressed air, soapy water to clean out the block. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to take the gallery plugs out of it. So there's a couple of plugs I got to remove. There's these two plugs. The spit plug is behind here, and I have to go ahead and scavenge that plug out of that other block because this one has the incorrect block. It's got a solid block, not the spit hole block off, that it's actually supposed to feed oil into the distributor gear. And then in the front, we're going to go ahead and pull those out as well. We're going to blow compressed air through all the passages, everything. Compressed air and soapy water. And then when we're done, we're just going to blow it off. And then again, I'm going to probably oil coat some of the critical areas, like here and stuff like that. Just with a little like fogging oil. And that's about it for today. I think if I can set the crank on there, I have to figure out what I got for a rear main seal. I've always used the rope seal and I've never had issues. I thought about using the Ford seal for the first time on this setup, so I really don't know which way to go. Because I could probably set the crank in today, and I think if I do install the pistons, I would probably have to go out and buy a ring compressor. I always smoked them, and after like one or two uses, and I don't like it because once the bottom of them curls out, you have a tendency to want to break rings on the way in. So they're cheap at Harbor Freight. So yeah, but either way, we'll get going on this and see how it goes. I think JJ is actually supposed to be in my area today, so that might be a little delayed. But the game plan is here. Now that we're officially going to be in October in a day, I'm going to be working on my home project, and then like one day on, one day off. And that's another reason why I have to clean today is I have to do my winter cleanup, put some things away, throw some shit out. I got to put those wheels up there. My slicks have to go up there. We might go out for a test and tune next weekend. We'll see. But anyway, I'll let you guys go. I won't tie you up. When I start cleaning this, I'll make another little video about it, and I'll show you some of the things that still have to get done, like machining the intake manifold. I have to figure that out. But there's a formula for that. I have the book. Figure it out. Make our measurements and go from there. So I'll let you guys go. All right, you guys are going to have to kind of bear with me. I'm going solo, but I wish you guys can see this good. This is the plug that was on the back of the block. This needs to have a spit hole in it. This feeds oil to the distributor gear. Now, it kind of got wiped off, but this thing was loaded with bearing material. Just stuck there. Now, like I said, this thing spun almost every rod bearing, and it didn't smoke the mains, just the rods. This isn't necessarily a failure point, but it could cause a failure because if you don't put any oil to your distributor gear, guess what? It's just going to knife edge itself, and all those shavings are going to find their way into your oil. So there's no real telling why this engine died. There's been a lot of things that were done that I think, I mean, I really can't say. I've never had issues like this, but they happen. It's lack of information, machine shop, how much they work on Oldsmobiles. So it just comes down to a couple things like that. But I cleaned up the block externally with brake clean. You can see it's real dry. It's real nice. I got the plugs out of the back, and I'm going to go ahead and start spraying this thing down with, I use Dawn dish soap. It's good for ducks. It's good for cute little ducks. 50% less scrubbing. It's also good for my engine. So we're going to dilute that, spray the engine out, spray all the oil passages. I'm going to take those two front plugs off, and we're going to blow the shit out of it. So again, this is why you do, this is like the final step where we're doing our cleanup, our prep, and then from here, we'll get everything else together to get our crank in place, and then from there we can go on to pistons. We'll see how far we get today, but this is what I'm focused on today, is at least prepping and cleaning the block. And then after this, we can start assembly. From here, it's going to go smooth. I do need to make a list of a couple of things that I have to do, like the dowel pin modifications for the big block heads to the small block. They're in different locations, but there is embossments on the cylinder heads. So I don't know if I can drill those out to accommodate it, or I have to go another route. Either way, not a big deal. Common, nothing major. Then I'm still torn if I can get the Ford seal for the rear main, how fast I can get it. I do really want to do, I really should do the Ford seal anyway. I'm like torn between the rope seal, which I've never had issues with. And then from there, yeah, I'm actually probably going to order a table so I can lay all my parts out and go, you know, have a nice layout and show you guys that stuff when we're ready. So for today, I'm happy with just getting this block ready, getting it cleaned up, and you know, getting our shit together, pretty much, so to speak. So we'll let you guys go. All right, guys. So I used an old fuel drum. I cleaned out, filled with soapy water, and I used my siphon feed blowgun. And you can put this tip. This tip comes off of this brass nozzle. You could put this on an extended reach to make it easier. It worked for me. So obviously it's just soapy water, diluted about, I'd say 70-30, 30% soap, 70% water. And of course, this is if you have compressed air. If not, you're stuck using a lot of brake cleaner. So right now I'm spraying it down with WD after drying the block out with compressed air yet again. And then I used my, let me see if I can get it for you guys here. Where did I leave it? Trying to find it. Just used it. So let's see. Where is it at? Here we go. So I have this long reach rubber tipped blowgun. And I go into all the passages, blow out all the water. I go into every single lifter, oil feed hole, blow that out. I blow the gallery out, back to front. I blow every oil passage I can. I get into all the water jackets, all the thread hole, bolt holes, blow all that out, get everything cleaned up. Yeah, so everything looks pretty good. I oiled everything down. I'm going to flip it over, oil the bottom side out, and then I'm going to blow it out again after we oiled it so that the oil mist gets all up in there. I use the little straw can WD-40 to get into each lifter bore oil feed hole and spray it in there. Spray it through the front, spray it through the back just to get oil coating in there. I'm going to blow it out, and then I'm going to clean it up again, and then I'm going to coat the cylinders with transmission fluid. I'm going to coat the lifter bores with transmission fluid as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and one last time spray the galleries with oil, or WD-40 I should say, and that should keep everything good. And then we can start assembling this thing. But there is a couple things I'm going to end up ordering, so I'm not going to worry about that this time, but at least we're going to get cleaned up, showing you guys how I do it. And I do have to drill that blank 3/8 pipe plug in the back, because I don't have the correct one. I couldn't get it out of the block. I tried getting it out of that block. Did not work out. So I'm going to have to drill it. Done it before. I got the right drill bits. No big deal. We'll take care of it. So on that note, we'll let you guys go. I'm going to get this thing flipped over. One last cleanup, and then we'll do a follow-up. All right, guys. So I got a pile of scrap here. I went through it, and I took all the bolts that I could use because, I mean, you could always use engine bolts, especially when you build quite a few Oldsmobiles. So, not important. The block is cleaned. Oiled it all down. I coated the cylinders, the bores. You know, we got a nice film of oil on the cylinder head surface. Blew oil through everything, as mentioned already. And so I didn't have intentions to replace the frost plugs or the casting plugs. That's actually where the sand comes out from the casting. But they do work. You know, they'll bust out, but really I believe the actual intention for those are for casting purposes. But either way, Milodon and Speed Pro sell a cheap kit, so I'm just going to go ahead and replace them all because I need the plug for the back as well. I don't have this one. And as mentioned already, I'm going to have to drill out the spit plug, and I'm going to have to drill out my restrictors. So hopefully, by the end of the week, maybe we can put this together next Saturday. I think for now, I know I said, I really, during the week, I'm going to get everything ready to try to assemble the short block all in one shot. I still have the oil pump to clean out. I got the restrictors to drill out. I have the plug to drill out. And after that, we can get everything together. So I got to order, let's see, I made a little list here. Got a couple things to figure out. I got to do the head dowels. My handwriting is really shitty. I got to figure out valve springs, the rear main seal, and the plug kit. For now, I'm going to focus on the things to get the short block together since the heads are pretty much together. But I want to get the correct springs for the solid lifter cam. I'm going to end up using the flat tappet versus the roller just because it'll be, well, I'd rather keep the roller for something else. But I am going to use the, the Victor intake. Maybe I should use the RPM. I really don't know anymore. Like, I'm so indecisive, it's unreal. I kind of want to save the Victor and the roller for my current engine and this, that, and the other. And it's just the way things are in my life. I'm very indecisive until I decide to do it. But really, I think for our purposes, the RPM will probably work. Ideally, to keep not only the cost down overall, but really we're not going to... I think for my bracket racing intentions, I should just keep the RPM because I'm shifting at 6,000 anyway to hold it back. And if this thing runs anywhere in the 11s, I'd be really happy with that. It's very similar to what I have right now, actually. That would be actually quite interesting to see how well the RPM will work up above 6,500 if it does. We'll see. Maybe it's the reason I should run it. But either way, if you guys have been following, you know that I've already file fit the rings. We measured bores, piston to wall, all that stuff. So really, we're kind of on the go here, and then we're pretty damn good to go. So from here, we'll get everything ready. Thank you guys for following along. Share, like, subscribe. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Copper Cutlass. We're going to start putting this thing together real soon here. So like I said, I've been nipping at it little by little as I can. There's no rush, but I want it done before the end of the year. So ideally before the end of this month. So I'll let you guys go.